We're going to start the playbook section off with the basic plays from the Renegade. Renegade Motion 48 Monster is the most basic. Of course, it's the jet sweep. Here we have the Monster Crack, which is 2 cracks. 3 cracks would be a nasty. The motion man needs to be at full speed when he gets the ball. The snap needs to be made where the tight end would be if there was a tight end. This isn't really hard, and it takes a little bit of work, some practice on the timing. The quarterback needs to make a great fake, and basically what you're hoping is that your tailback will be one-on-one with the cornerback. Here we have the same play, Renegade Motion 48 Monster, but it's diagrammed versus a 2-2, which we call a box. Of course, 49 would be to the left. We want to get our one-on-one with the corner, which we've got right here. And although box is a pretty good defense, you can see how it could be really susceptible to the jet sweep. This is a really good modification to the 48 Monster. Here we pull the S guard, or the speed guard. We have double cracks and pull the speed guard around. A couple of things. The T really needs to look to cut up. Might need to plant his foot and cut up on the blocks, so he's going to have to read the block, and the quarterback's going to have to fake play side, and it's going to have to be a really good fake so that it ties down that middle linebacker. This is 131Q, which from time to time we also used to call 151 or 152 because the 50 designates the quarterback. Right here, this play is set up with the jet sweep, and the slot really needs to get a block on the defensive end. So he's going to fake that crack back and then try to get enough of the defensive end to where he can't blow up the trap before it gets started. You need a great fake from the motion man and the quarterback prior to running this quarterback counter trap. This is the hex route, and the hex is just a killer play. It's really great for countering the jet sweep. It also counters the counter trap. We designate this play a 222 or a 223 because in conventional sets it counters the lead or the power play, which we can always go back to those conventional sets and we can run this play with very little adjustments to blocking or routes. Year in and year out, the hex is one of our best routes. The tilt play is an awesome counter to the hex route. What we basically have right here is we have the 2 Renegade receivers drawing the coverage off, making way for the delayed rail route, which is run by the T after he's in motion, or the motion man. He'll delay off the defensive end, then run his rail route. You can throw this shorter, you can throw it deeper, but if you throw it deep, you got to be really careful. In general, we tend to hold on to this pass too long, and that can be catastrophic. We try to throw the tilt once or twice a game at the most. In the games that we don't need it, we don't use it because it has the potential to be a big play every time we use it. This is the TRZ play. The T, of course, stands for the tailback, who's going to be running the zoom, and the R stands for the right end, who's also going to be running the zoom with the tail. Here we have the T goes in motion, gets the ball, then has the pass run option to the right. We don't really use this play as a trick play. We practice it quite a bit, and we use it as a base play. Oftentimes we'll run this 6 to 12 times a game. One of the ways to counter this is the quarterback throwback play, which can be a really big play, but you can't go to that well very often. 58 Monster utilizes the double crackbacks with the Monster and the quarterback sweep. And I know it's a simple play and it's easy to forget, but sometimes the very best plays are the simplest. And this is a play, like I said, it might be easy to forget, but you need to remember it because this can be a big play and it can help you out during the course of a game. Another positive to 58 Monster is it doesn't require any motion, so you can run it real quickly without taking a lot of time off the clock. This is 78 RZ, and it counters 58 Monster. Right here, we basically just put the pass run option into the quarterback's hands. You may want to incorporate some backside routes, but in general, we never had to. If you did, you'd probably want to use posts or drags, something of that sort. Versus box, you can also pull your center. Versus a 3 front, you can figure out a way to pull your guard if you want to. This is a really cool route. It gives your quarterback more control of the game. 78 middle screen counters 58 and 78 RZ. It's a great short yardage play and a killer 2-point conversion play if you're just crazy enough to call it. The quarterback rolls, but he really needs to get the defensive lineman flowing. The center and the play side guard will get 2 pops and release and then go to their secondary blocking assignments. The backside guard will get 1 pop and release. It's that backside defensive end that can cause the trouble here. He has to get into the flow of the play for this to work. 58 Blast uses the motion man kind of as a lead blocker for the quarterback sweep. From a strategy standpoint, the Blast gets helmets on helmets better than almost any other play in the entire scheme. Here we use the motion man to kick the cornerback for the quarterback sweep. This is great for Fox plays that you're trying to go on to get the defense to jump. If the safety wants to go with your motion man and get into the mix on some of these running plays, it really opens up that back slant for your backside split ends. Stag stands for speed out and flag. This is really a play action smash route that counters the jet sweep. The split end looks for a blitz, and if he sees one, he'll squash his backside route down. The real main reads here are the quarterback looking at the corner. If the corner widens to cover the speed out, then the quarterback looks to throw to the flag. If the cornerback comes or drops, then he throws the speed out. If the safety wants to cross the field with that motion and get into the mix of covering that deep flag, then the back post should be wide open. It's incredibly hard to stop both the smash combinations on this play along with the jet sweep. The back slant is one of the best ways to take advantage of an aggressive safety. We try to pull the safety and throw the slant where we pulled him from. The receiver absolutely must get between the quarterback and the defender to catch this ball. This isn't a complicated play to run by any means, but when you practice it, you really need to practice it with an aggressive cornerback. This builds confidence between the receiver and the quarterback. The 3x2 is a really great and simple way to counter the back slant. Here, the end needs to take 3 steps downfield before his 2-step jag to sell the slant. Then he needs to take off. Separation after the 2-step jag and selling the slant can make this one of the best deep threats in the entire Renegade scheme. Don't let the quarterback and the motion man get sloppy on their fakes. And on this play, the quarterback really needs to sell that good pump on that slant. This play is actually a counter to a counter, which just proves that the counters just never end. Here, we're countering the 3x2, which of course counters the back slant. The receiver will take 2 steps downfield, then 2 steps into the slant before he fakes the up route. He'll go about 2 to 3 steps into the up route before running the comeback to the sideline. The good thing about routes like these is they really get the R's and the L's, the split ends, into the game. It also makes the defense think twice about moving those safeties over there with the flow of motion. This is the OU play. OU stands for over and under. It's simple to read, the routes are simple to run, but it's not very simple to defend. Here the T simply runs a swing and the L runs a 5x5, that's 5 steps by 5 steps, and he tries to settle into the open area. This is a great route. It doesn't require motion, but you got to remember, on an 8-man field they're generally more narrow than an 11-man field. You may have to cut the route down. Also, the route may need to be cut down because of the strides of the receiver, so it may actually be a 3x3. We just in general tell our ends that they need to settle in the open area. This is what we call an OSU route. It's also an easy to run route that's not so easy to stop. It's a swing on the over, a slant on the under. It's what the OSU stand for. Basically, the T runs the swing, the split end runs the slant, and the quarterback will simply read the first defender to his left. Basically, here, if the safety wants to widen out, then the slant's going to be open. If the safety wants to drop back, then the swing should be open. Two blades is another awesome counter to the jet motion. Here, the split runs the coverage deep, and then we bring 2 receivers into that area. The F's route will be actually behind the offensive lineman, behind their feet. The Renegade split will run what we call a shallow, but it gets a little bit deeper as he clears the linebacker. Really got to watch out for the linebackers trying to smash the receivers as they come by on the shallow. This is a great short yardage play and an excellent two-point conversion play. The next plays are advanced Renegade plays. This is the reverse off of the jet motion. Here the quarterback hands to the motion man like he always does. The slot on the snap of the ball will go up on his toes and then down. Then he'll turn and accelerate for the reverse handoff. He absolutely must adjust to the motion man's depth to take the handoff. I suggest a front handoff. We've had the most success with that for the second one, but we've also been successful getting the ball behind as well. It just happens really, really fast. The reverse man needs to be ready to cut up field if he's required to. The quarterback is responsible for the defensive end. We just tell the quarterback, take him where he wants to go, but don't give him a second choice. So if he goes outside, take him hard outside. If he comes inside, take him down hard. A hint here, we have used our play side guard to pop the defensive end prior to blocking down on the middle linebacker. This gives us a little bit more time, especially against those really athletic defensive ends. Renegade 131 without motion is one of those plays that you always marvel at how well it works, because when you designed it you didn't think it would ever work that well from that particular formation, but it really does. I think a big reason for this, it hits quick, and there's a really good alleyway created by the blocking, especially against a three front. This is an excellent play to the backside of trips as well, a formation we call super trips, because it clears out one whole side for the 131 trap block. The quarterback just gets the ball to the slot as quickly as he can. The slot needs to adjust to the quarterback's depth to take a good handoff and then be ready to cut right off the trapping guard's rear. You need a great quarterback fake on this play to slow down the backside defensive end. 131 fake S counters the 131. Here we fake the 131 trap, but the quarterback keeps the ball. The Renegade split looks to get a pop on the defensive end. Then he moves on to seal the outside linebacker. The S guard needs to clear and then block the cornerback. Once again, the quarterback and the fullback need a crazy fake to make this play work. It's been a very, very successful play when run in conjunction with 131. Renegade 131 fake pass is another one of those counters to counters. This play here counters the 131 fake and turns it into something similar to the R zoom. The quarterback has the pass run option here. The R needs to come down and sell his block prior to releasing on his route. The angle of the R's route will be determined by where the cornerback is. A lot of times the secondary comes up on this play thinking it's a 131 fake. This little series here, this little three-play series is great for no-huddle teams because it doesn't require motion. It's real easy to call and real easy to run. This is Renegade Motion 16 Monster, and here we apply the monster blocking with the speed option. The motion man needs to adjust his motion so that he can become the pitch man and stay in pitch relationship with the quarterback. The quarterback snaps the ball slightly later than he normally would. You can modify this play to pitch off the defensive end or the quarterback. It's your choice. Speed is important for success of this play. 216 Max is a play-action counter to the speed option. Here we use the same motion to pitch relationship that we do on the 16 option. But here we fake it. The Renegade defensive end will block down or fake block down prior to his drag. The quarterback fakes the option for about 3 steps, then drops back. If the safety snaps to the R, the quarterback needs to throw the post. If the safety backs out or clears, the quarterback needs to hit the drag as he clears the middle linebacker. Renegade F-Swing Crack is a really fun little series based off of a play, and works really well with the Renegade formation. Here we simply make the defense wrong. In figure 1 here, the quarterback on the snap sees that the safety is dropping, so he just simply throws the F-swing. The R blocks, which is legal because the swing is behind the line of scrimmage. In figure 2, the cornerback comes up to cover the swing, so the quarterback simply hits the R. The R will release off of the block. If the R sees that the cornerback comes up immediately, he doesn't have to continue on to his block. The R needs to get open. He either runs an angle or a go, but he needs to get open, and he needs to get open in a hurry. Here's the same play with figure 3. The cornerback comes up to cover the swing. The linebacker or safety, whoever's on the inside coverage, drops. The R just sits down. The quarterback needs to throw this pretty quickly so that the middle linebacker doesn't get into the mix. Usually this works really well after you've run the other options several times on this play. This is Nuke from Super Trips, and it's a play that we run a lot of times in conjunction with the Renegade offense. The 8-man field is oftentimes more narrow than the 11-man field. This can be an advantage if you want to run smash type plays using receivers that are across the field from each other, something you can't do in 11-man very often. Here the L runs a speed out, which we've adjusted because he's so close to the sideline. The F, or the slot, runs a fish type route for a blitz check across the middle. Then he runs a deep flag to complete the smash option with the L. The F needs to run his route really hard. It's a great deep threat that can score. The quarterback needs to make a great pump if he doesn't throw it to the L, but he also doesn't need to get greedy, because if we do throw the speed out to the L, we're still probably going to get 6 to 8 yards. Nomad's an excellent formation to run in conjunction with the Renegade formation. Just like the diagram says, anytime you bring one of your offensive men inside like the L, you're also going to bring another defender to the party. But there are things you can do out of Nomad that you can't do out of the regular Renegade. Here we run in 132Q, which we also have at times called 152. And it's really good for this trap in particular because the tight end can keep the defensive end from getting on us too soon. It also sets up some really great play action plays, especially delays with the tight end and the slot. This play we call L Dagger. It's a delay to the tight end. It's the longest delay that we use, which is 3 counts. Almost all players will rush the count, so you may have to increase the counts to 4 or even 5. The quarterback really needs to look off, especially at the 2 crossing routes, before he comes back to the primary receiver. He might even pump the speed out off to the left side. This is a great short yardage play. I've diagrammed the Q draw play with a 4 wide set. It can be used very effectively from almost any spread set, including the Renegade or the wide or even Super Trips. After the snap, the quarterback pumps to one of the speed outs. We have both slots running speed outs to try to pull the secondary as far to the sidelines as we possibly can, which opens up the middle of the field. The center has a really unique and tough block to make right here. What he'll do is he'll just take the nose guard, give him one hard shot whichever direction he wants to go. So if he goes right, he'll shove him really hard to the right. Then he'll go after the linebacker, looking to block the linebacker to the left. Most of the time this is made a lot simpler because the nose guard will usually have one A gap to cover and the middle linebacker will have the other. Both guards will take their defensive ends outside, which is probably made easier because most of the time these defensive ends will be rushing to the outside anyway. We teach the quarterback to look at the nose guard as he's making the pump to the outside. If the nose guard goes to his right, then the quarterback's going to jab hard step to the left. If the nose guard goes to the left, the quarterback will jab hard step to the right. If the center gets a good shot on the nose guard, it really helps the quarterback make him miss because his momentum a lot of times will carry him past the quarterback. Then the quarterback is going to have to read the block of the center on the middle backer. If the middle backer went left, then he's got to cut up under and go right. If the middle backer went right, he's got to cut up under and go left. Once he clears, though, the secondary should be towards the sidelines. Well, this concludes the Renegade offense for 8-man football. I truly feel like that this offense continues to evolve in 11-man and 8-man. As I stated earlier, you don't have to run the entire scheme. Most coaches usually run 8 to 10 plays of it early in the season, and they incorporate more as the season progresses. Because the Renegade formation is not conventional, a lot of coaches feel like it's just simply too wild or crazy. However, the roots to this formation and the plays that it utilizes are based on formations and schemes that are older than the single wing. The bottom line is the Renegade is fun, it's exciting. That's a big part of what football was supposed to be about in the first place, and that's what keeps those kids coming out in the fall. I very much enjoy putting together these 8-man materials because they're always met with such great enthusiasm. 8-man coaches have a very, very special camaraderie. 8-man football is unique, it's an exciting sport, and that's why it continues to grow. Well, I'd really love to hear your feedback about the scheme and your exploits using the Renegade. God bless you, Coach. God bless your family, and God bless your team.